police officer. His heart was big. Not only was he a police officer, he was a school teacher. He was a bus driver. He was a coach to the youth in this community.
Emotional words tonight from the Bluffton police chief as he and Northwest Ohio mourn the loss of Officer Dominic Francis. The 42-year-old was placing stop sticks on I-75 during a chase early this morning when the driver hit and killed him. The driver's suspect, of course. Around 2 o'clock this morning, state troopers saw a car driving more than 100 miles per hour on State Route 23 in Hancock County. That driver would eventually hit and kill the officer on I-75 in Hancock County. 2 suspects wound up being arrested in Bluffton. The third was caught after escaping to Elyria near Cleveland. Tonight, we continue our live team coverage in Bluffton. Madeleine Watkins was at today's news conference and is breaking down what we know so far about what happened and how it happened. Michael Sandlin got a chance to talk to those living in the Bluffton area who knew the fallen officer. And Dan Cummins joining us live in studio tonight to reflect on how other first responders across the state are honoring Officer Francis. But let's start with Madeleine Watkins. Madeleine, walk us through it. What led up to this incident?
Around 2 o'clock this morning, that's when Highway Patrol says that 3 passengers in a vehicle were traveling at over 100 miles per hour. They were fleeing from officers, and that's when Officer Dominic Francis tried to put those stop sticks out, and that's when he ultimately was hit and killed by that vehicle on I-75. Now, all 3 of the suspects in that vehicle are now in custody after a nearly 10-hour search. This incident stretched from Findlay to Bluffton all the way east to Elyria. There was a somber scene along I-75 this morning where up to 30 officers were seen saluting an ambulance as it drove away from the scene where Officer Francis was killed. It's been a devastating day for everyone, especially those in uniform.
I think it's something that is going through everyone's mind, we're all in this profession for a reason. You want to go out, make a difference, and it's hard when something like this happens for everyone.
Now, we'll be sure to release the names of those that were arrested and are now in custody, those 3 suspects, once we learn that information later on. For now, I'm live in Hancock County. Madeleine Watkins, WTOL 11.
And we continue to tell you more about who Officer Dominic Francis was as a person and a member of the community before his tragic death this morning. Michael Sandlin joining us live in Bluffton as well. And Michael, you had a chance to speak to various members of the community. How do they describe the officer?
Well, Jeff, I think Bluffton's chief of police summed it up best this morning when he tearfully described Francis as a hero, and I've been hearing similar thoughts all day. Now, while his wife and 2 children tell me they're not ready to talk on camera just yet, they made clear that Dominic Francis truly was a pillar of the community. On top of his time as a full-time police officer, he was also a volunteer captain with the Southwestern Hancock County Fire Department and a coach at Corey Rawson High School. But he wasn't just a servant in his working life. Neighbors described him as a big-hearted family man who was available to help anyone whenever it was needed, and his death is a blow to the entire community.
I had a neighbor that had some health problems, and she would also sort of wander off sometimes. And he would help her. He would just drop everything and come help her. He was very nice.
Bracy tells me she expects she and the rest of the community will rally together for the Francis family the same way Francis would rally for them. Reporting in Bluffton, I'm Michael Sandlin for WTOL 11.
And the feelings and the emotion don't stop there. Condolences from police departments all over the state coming in tonight. Dan Cummins joining us live in studio with some of those who have spoken out about the officer's death. Dan?
Jeff, we're all struck by overwhelming sadness when this happens. It really hits home for those who do protect and serve. Among the many comments of sympathy and support, Toledo Police Chief George Krall posting this photo on his Twitter page this morning. It reads, "Rest in peace, Bluffton Police Officer Dominic Francis." Chief Krall went on to say, quote, "My thoughts and prayers are heading to the family, friends, and colleagues of fallen Officer Francis, the Bluffton PD, and the city of Bluffton. Heaven has a new hero. Before his time as an officer with the Bluffton Police Department, Dominic Francis was a fire captain. Captain Francis was the Southwestern Hancock Joint Fire Department. Today, they released this photo showing his former uniform. They released a statement saying he was a husband, a father to 2 children, a son, a community friend, a brother to the thin blue line, and a dedicated captain serving our fire district. Of course, there's so many condolences and comments from officials and friends of Dominic Francis. If you'd like to look at more, we posted them at WTOL.com. Jeff?
Dan, thank you. This is a story that we will continue to follow. It will develop over the next several days. You can track the latest online right now. We also have links to live reports, and we'll post updates as we learn more on WTOL.com and our social media pages. Make sure to join us tonight at 11 for more of our live team coverage.